We've been talking about the cyclone, so let's go now live to Queensland, where we've got Paul Murray joining us. Paul, thanks for your time tonight. Firstly, how are you doing in Queensland?
Doing really well. Look, I've had the experience over the past few days of going all the way from northern New South Wales up to sort of the bottom of the Sunshine Coast. What's happening here is obvious in terms of the weather, but can I talk about some of the effort that's being put in right now? A couple of 100,000 homes, almost 300,000 homes are without power. Spent the day today with some of those crews and the people putting that together. That is a military-like operation, and they have fanned out all over southeast Queensland to get the power back on. To see that is pretty incredible. I'll give you more detail and insight into that with the people behind it in a couple of hours on Paul Murray Live. In terms of the actual weather, here in central Brisbane, as you can see, it is raining. It has been raining hardcore all day. The fog comes in and out. The winds are no longer a problem for anywhere here or south, but there are big problems towards the north. Hervey Bay, just off the end of the Sunshine Coast, they have had a couple of 100 mil of rain, and that is just over the past few hours. There has been huge amounts of flooding that have taken place there. People have had to be rescued by the dozen. As we speak, there are parts of that area that are completely locked off. So, yes, things look slightly different than at previous times when we've been out and about and the rain and all the rest of it, but it ain't over. Because the second part of all of this is, of course, when it comes to the rain. Now, Brisbane itself has had a couple of 100 mils in the past couple of days, and that is going to lead to flooding. So much so that already, Danica, 100 streets are closed. And James, there are plenty of people who are looking for some ray of sunshine in this. Well, for those that have had their kids cooped up for a few days, school is open again tomorrow, but you have to double check whether it is your school that is open, because it is school by school, inspection by inspection. Make sure you go to disaster.gov.au for more.
Yeah, I mean, the cyclone was nowhere near as bad as was expected, and yet, I mean, hundreds of thousands of homes without power, as you said. And Hervey Bay has just, I mean, the flooding, we've seen images and vision there, and parts of the city are under police lockdown.
Look, I'm going to challenge slightly, not what you just said, but something of where it's come from, which is a few people saying, hey, you know, it's a fizzer. It's not as big as they said it would be. Well, obviously, and I'm sure yourself agree, that's a relief. However, when you have the most number of homes in southeast Queensland, in fact, of all of Queensland, go out, this is the biggest natural disaster when it comes to the amount of power. The situation is life and death in Hervey Bay. The situation has already taken life in northern New South Wales and very nearly took life. So if some people have extrapolated, because there was press conferences multiple days, anything less than a suburb being wiped out or roofs, just every house being torn apart is somehow a fizzer, well, again, I understand there's often a bit of a gulf between the early messages and the reality, but I've got to say, as a person who's seen lots of disaster responses over a long time, there are hardcore people that have been out and about fixing this, and there are people who need things to be fixed. So, therefore, in my view, I get why perhaps outside of Queensland there might be a bit of a sense of, geez, you've been banging on about this for a couple of weeks. Well, for the people that are in it, it's pretty damn serious.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really good point. Paul Murray, thank you for joining us. You'll be back at 9 p.m. tonight live from Queensland with the latest. We appreciate your time. Thank you.